let's give some reviews on how you felt when they see us was. I think it's time for us to talk about that and the impact that it will have, going forward, how pivotal it is to show, that to growing teens. And I think how disposable our lives are to like justice system laws, that type of thing. Um, what'd you rate it? 1 to 10.
I'll go 10.
For
It was really
sure.
good. I
For
think it was
sure.
one of the. It was shot really well. Like,
Yeah, that's what like the production on it was amazing. Like I
yeah,
think that's what like added the impact to it, make you feel it more is
yeah,
how she produced it.
yeah. The way she told the story was like it was different than a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of other movies or series, like the way she kind of unwinded it. Like
Yeah,
she focused on certain things, like them being like boys and like really young, like. So especially when you hear that story, you really don't think about it that way. Like
yeah,
I didn't realize like some of them were like, he was tiny, so
yeah,
that really like had an impact on me watching it, just seeing them so young, being in the police, being in that, being in the interrogation room.
yeah. And how vulnerable they was up
Yeah.
there and stuff like that. I think,
Mm-hmm.
and how she started it off as just being like regular kids on the weekend. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like running into the park, they see a group. Like you
Yeah.
gonna be like,
Yeah.
my nigga, let me. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think it also show you. I kind of think that takes the innocence out of a kid, though. If we just be like, don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't do that type of thing. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Don't go to
everybody,
school.
yeah, or
Right.
run off with other kids. Like
Yeah.
that's like, but I guess that's like the reality of being, a black. You know what I'm saying in America for
And
real.
that's like in hindsight, like that. This situation is one of those things where I think our generation learned that
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
A lot of people they say like that's a normal thing or was a normal thing in that time. Like,
yeah,
was for all the neighborhood kids to be in the park.
yeah,
You know what I mean? In big groups, number one, because Central Park was a dangerous place, so you don't want to be alone.
right, yeah,
This is the reason why Corey Wise even goes to the park, right?
yeah,
Because he don't want to leave his homeboy. Like
right, yeah,
So it's just a normal thing, but I think we kind of learned that from their situation,
yeah.
their generation.
I think I also heard making sure that part 4 was just solely about Corey was also
Yeah.
like, but I was seeing like something where she said that everybody else, like the other guys, like requested her to make sure that she tells his story is
That was dope. I should have.
yeah. That shit was sad as hell. Like I don't know. I mean, it's just like it makes you. I feel like it makes you want to teach, or you know what I'm saying, or become knowledgeable so you can teach young black kids like the law and stuff like that. Because like even and it's not even really just kids at this point because his dad like Antron's dad like
Right.
failed him completely. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
but I mean, to an
I
extent,
get
you know what I'm
I
saying?
get why you say that.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like unconsciously because he didn't know. You know what I'm saying? This is he just doing what he feel like is in his best interest, and but watching the Oprah interview, you can tell he still resents his dad for that exact
As he, as the person, he that happens to, as he should.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just kind of feel like, I mean, how do you teach? What do you teach people? Like, what rules do you teach people about people who don't follow their own rules?
Yeah.
Like, they
True.
don't follow the rules.
Right.
Like, I seen, I listen to this podcast, this girl who works, she's a defense lawyer, and she was saying, like, she's a prison abolitionist, so
Oh, okay.
she believes that prison should be a non-existent thing or whatever. And she works in the system, but she said like there's nothing that anybody could have did different in that situation. Like you can, and again, not saying you shouldn't teach kids, right? Like
Right.
you definitely want to teach them like the reality of the situation, but that also is like you playing with people who don't play by any rules.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
there really was
True.
nothing they could have did, and they showed that I think they showed it really well in the series, like if you pay attention, like Ava, they never call them anything like human, right? They
Yeah.
always refer to them as like
Animals
or
and
something like that,
yeah.
right? They don't refer to them as not even human, especially not young boys, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like this, they were preying on them, you know, like what, and it was something else, like the wording they would say, like, you know, they never told him like, oh, you're under arrest for this,
Yeah.
or you are being looked at for this crime. This, if you tell us something to implicate these people, you know,
You can go home.
and all that language is like, you can say whatever, they can say whatever they want, they can do whatever they want in that situation, especially if you have people isolated.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you teach people to the rules if they're not gonna play by them?
Right.
Like,
But you don't
you know,
think just the simple rule, like if you are underage, make sure at least. Well, I mean, I guess you can't say that because his mom, you know, some of their moms was right there, you
right
know,
outside,
right there. Yeah.
you
So.
know, and like I seen in some states you have to literally say like, I will not speak to you without a lawyer present or something like that. And
Yeah.
even then, they can still talk to you, right?
Yeah.
So we talking about a situation that like, I mean, terrorists get interrogated and
Spilled it. Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what
You're
I
right.
mean?
You're right.
We're talking about grown people who are like violent murderers, right?
Yeah.
How like how can you condition a child to be in that situation and not
React the
succumb
same
to
way
that
they
pressure,
did. Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have to talk to you, sure. You can still come in here and badger me to death and
Yeah.
not feed me or not give me water if nobody's gonna come look for me. What do I do? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
You're right. Yeah.
it's like the reality of the situation, and that's what I think. That's what I was trying to get to with his dad, was that for him the reality was, it doesn't matter what I say or what you say. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
We need to just try to get you out of here. And he was right. He could have, you know, they could have took them boys home and still got charged and went to jail for that.
Yeah.
And they could
I
have
mean.
said not a zero,
Right,
you know,
right.
not a word,
Yeah.
and still been in the same situation. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess
it's fucked up,
yeah,
man.
that is fucked up though.
But yeah, with that case though, it was a lot of people that do their job.
Yeah, just yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So
yeah,
that's where
sure.
it's like, it gets real systematic when the judge and all the prosecutors, you know, they're all
the jury. You
The
know
jury,
what I'm saying? Like
everybody's up on
everybody,
the jig,
yeah.
you know?
It's just like you looking at them like, everybody ignored all facts. Like you know what I'm saying? Like what? You know, I guess you are. I never looked at it like that. Like. There's no way to fight against that. Even if I do know all my laws, like I got, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 different stages of this shit, like the judge, the prosecutor, the jury, and all
Somebody
of them
know
are,
law.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And all of them are like blatantly ignoring it, like no facts. You know what I mean? Like that's mind-boggling to me. Like that's really, and that was 1989. That you know, that's 30 years ago. That's not that long ago for real. Like. They're just now getting paid, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. That's wild
I
to
seen
me.
people saying on Twitter like, "Oh, we should have learned about this in school." I'm like, "How? This is real time."
Yeah,
like,
like for
this
real.
is gonna be in history.
Yeah.
Like, we lived through some historical shit.
Right.
Like, how many people was either out of school or in high school in 2001?
Yeah, seriously.
Like how many, or in school? Period. We was in school when the towers dropped.
Yeah, watch this shit on TV. Yeah,
like
facts.
this is like real like time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's no way you could have like.
It would be something that our kid, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
our generation of kids would have
Exactly.
to, you know what I'm saying,
Right, yeah.
to. That's wow. I don't know, and I think like you said, like the innocence that she gave each boy was like, especially like through episode 1.
Yeah, it was kind of like their last days of
being a kid.
Like,
Yeah,
she showed their last moments of being like a young child.
Right.
You know what I mean? A young black child with that.
so that like they said, dude said he went from 16 to 30, like just like that. That's wow, you know, and that's prime years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like. People say, I mean, people can say you don't start living until you're 30, but 16 and 30 is prime years. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could repeat those, those years.
Your
So
formative years of being ready to be, like Antron said, he can't even enjoy his life, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of what was taken from him at such a young age.
For sure.
Like, how you gonna enjoy 30 if you never got to be 13?
16, you know? Like, for real, though.
So, it's just...
That's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if I was ever in that situation, I would be like Antron. I would be bitter. Like,
I'd be like, and I love everything he's not love, but I'm like, I like that he's
being honest. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
seriously.
I would be Antron, like, and then you're like, okay, we get $41 million split by how many people, like, and again, when you take people, especially at that age, from their families, like, it's not just them, like, is y'all gonna, all the time, money, parents and family members spend, is y'all giving them that back?
Yeah, is you right?
I mean?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Having to deal with, a missing part of your family is something that you can never get back.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything for the families because it definitely doesn't just affect the one person.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like,
yeah, that's.
it can never be repaid.
And I think that another crazy part is that, like, the Linda lady is like, and the Elizabeth, like, they're just now starting to weed them out of, you know what I'm saying, powerful positions. Like, that happened 30 years ago, and it took for, you know what I'm saying, protests via Twitter and outrage via, current students.
A murderer.
To have more passion,
a rapist murderer to have more empathy for somebody than an entire government. Like,
yeah.
They owe them niggas Central Park at this point.
Period. Like, a couple streets.
Thing, like, just give it to them. That's
for
their
real,
shit now.
though. Like, I don't know. I don't think. But I think, like, I think I would be like them as far as moving away as well. Like, I don't think I could have no more, you know what I'm saying? But Corey, he cool with be, that's his home. I mean, I guess that's all you know. Besides,
he's on Rikers Island too. So
yeah, so it's like everything. Like, this is the crib, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I could show him no more love, you know what I'm saying? I just personally, I would just be bitter all the way around the board. Like, honestly, like, I don't, not from here. Like, when they ask, I'm not from there. Like,
and they say, like, I watched a documentary and they were saying, like, because, basically how much, well, that's what another thing Ava showed really well was how much the media kind of played into
their part, yeah.
The reporting and, like, how they talked about these boys and, like, there was never any presumed innocence. Like,
yeah.
When you're young and black, especially, the black boys, an accusation is guilty.
Period.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the way they talked about them, and even in the documentary, they said, like, that wasn't even the worst part. They were saying, like, when everything came true, how the New York media, like, didn't give, as much energy as they put into trying to make them seem guilty, when the facts came out that they was innocent, they didn't put any
effort into
putting out into the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's fucked up to me. That's more fucked up.
It's crazy to me how much a role media plays in almost everything, though. Like, the narratives that the media push, like, will have you believe in, you know what I'm saying, something that's not even really, like, real.
Yeah. It's the most entertainment-based shit we got on TV now. Like,
yeah.
It's the, like, I don't know, I don't even listen to the news or watch the news. Like, I gotta get my shit through, like, another
source.
I can.
Yeah.
Like, it's just nothing but headlines. It's nothing but for money. It's not to inform people of anything. It's not been that. It hasn't been that in a while. But it's really not that anymore. It's all about headlines and getting clicks. And, like, what can get people stirred up.
Yeah. Or what could cause the most conversation.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Most traffic.
I don't know. That's why I think it's, like, imperative for black journalists and black, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we don't put them as much importance on that type of role.
Yeah, we need our own, like,
media. Like, period.
You can't go there because they just going to have, like, they can have the most wokest. They can put Malcolm X on there. They just going to put a fucking racist ass, stupid, ignorant motherfucker next to him.
Yeah.
And present his point of view as if it's valid and somehow needs to be heard also.
Right.
And just create this fight so they can get clicks and all that. Like, I can't even enjoy it at all.
Yeah, this 6, what is it, like, up to 14 years, man, I'm telling you, like I don't know, but I don't know. I think that's like something I was reading this Twitter thread the other day, and this lady was a teacher, and she was showing, has showed her students the they had watched the series or whatever, and she asked for reactions, and she was like tweeting some of their reactions, and it was like really shocking to see how, like, you know what I'm saying, that really, like, the response that type of thing gave them at that age, like, you know what I'm saying, like some of them was like, I think that it might be 8th, 9th grade, because she said it was about 14, I think, something like that, and they were just talking about, you know what I'm saying, like, that could have been me, like, you know what I'm saying, like, his dad, but a couple of them felt the same way, like, yo, his dad, you know what I'm saying, like, his dad didn't give him, you know what I'm saying, like, but to see how it's something like that, like I said, that will take an immature mind, like, I'm not, not trying to downplay the minds of young people, but it is
just
what it is.
What's the word? Not even immature, just like, impressionable.
Yeah.
Young people are impressionable, and that's why you want to have role models and certain things to like teach them. So, like you said,
it was crazy to, I don't know, to watch, but I think it was needed. I think that's something like almost every 14-year-old, black woman and black man should see at this point. You know what I'm saying? Growing up.
It don't just happen to men. This was years ago, so this. It's all, I seen the story. They said that same night, black woman was raped and thrown off the top of the building.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn.
And she died. All right. And so even the threat of that white woman dying, that's what really pushed that investigation into the way, in the way that it went, right? Was her being like about to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he had been raping people. They couldn't have been too pressed to find to find him. He was raping people before that situation and after. Wasn't too pressed to find the rapist.
Yeah, flat out.
But that woman was also, white woman, she almost died, and she worked on Wall Street.
Yeah.
Right? So then you have the Trumps, here come the Trumps, and all them coming out, but at the same time, and like I said, and it's in the name of protecting white women, but that's not what it's for. That's the ignorant logic they use to justify it, because in a way it's like they failed them too.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Seriously.
He goes and kills another white woman, kills another woman, and who's protected?
Right,
nobody. You get your little book and you put these black people, these black men away. Like, yeah. I'm convinced. I don't think anybody ever thought they was guilty of this. It couldn't have been.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way y'all thought they was guilty.
Isn't that
I watched
like
way too much SB.
Yeah, it's like no way. Like, nobody was in there like, okay. I just can't believe, like, nobody was like, okay, this is where we draw the line. You know what I'm saying?
We cannot go this far.
We put in these kids a whole different, you know what I'm saying, fit than everybody's story. Everybody has the same exact story. Only two people know each other. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, nobody has the same story at all. Nobody's story makes sense.
That's what I mean.
They don't even have the same story in the beginning of when they start talking to the end of where they start talking.
All their times, the times are right. You know what I'm saying? Match up, and y'all put them here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no DNA evidence at all. Matter of fact, there was DNA evidence. It just was none of
the and match nobody. Like, I just don't get that.
Obviously,
like, nobody.
That's why, like we said, it's top to bottom, because I'm like, how did these confessions even make it into the trial?
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Because that's some shit they try all the time. Police try to coerce confessions, and it's something that happens to a lot of people. You know what I mean? And a lot not this like vicious. But they try to do that shit all the time, and then a lot of times the judges or somebody be like, nah, this is not coming in my court. Like,
flat out.
So I'm like, how did these confessions even make it to the court?
The courtroom,
like, how did they even make it for a jury to even hear
But
that?
the more I'm looking, like, the more papers and stuff I read, like, news articles, I'm reading, like, a lot of black men were charged, you know what I'm saying? They starting to let a lot of black men free of these charges, from around that time. Like, what? I don't know. Like, how do you sleep at night? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a judge or as a prosecutor, how do you get up and every day live on knowing you just
like ruining people's lives. 'Cause
Yeah.
you feel like it, but you know, it's a, I don't know, it's a mental thing. I feel like when you've been told that you are better than people or that these people are second class citizens, so it really don't matter what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, that white men somehow believe their rape is better. You know, the way they rape and pillage and the way they beat their women and the way they treat people shitty is a lot better than the way a black person can do it, right?
Yeah.
It's all shitty behavior. You know, we're not going to do that. As if,
Yeah, one is better than the other.
right.
Yeah.
You know, it's all shitty behavior, but somehow when white people do or white men do these crimes, you know, i.e. the Brock Turners or people who are guilty.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Like flat out
in the,
guilty.
You know,
Yeah.
in the name of the law, guilty. It's okay. You just made a mistake.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, accusations on our end lead to like harsh punishment, right?
14 years in jail,
14
rape. You know
years,
what I'm saying?
Somehow his rape was less whatever
Right.
than what happened with some black folks. That's crazy.
I also can't believe that it was like we were really allowing for 16-year-old boys to be in prisons. Like, that's wild to me. Like, what? And it's still like they will still charge you. You know what I'm saying? As an adult,
and I
like
read something too that said because of this case, it started the trend of actually charging young people as adults. Around that age.
Yeah.
So like many states after this incident started to charge, and if I'm sure if we look through the numbers, it will probably be more black men, right?
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
and for, they started charging them as adults for like, they made it a law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And many of these, and it still stands to this day, right? So like this case that is clearly fabricated, clearly like, bullshit, starts this trend of like, okay, now we're going to make it law to
in prison, you know what I'm saying?
Over something that was not true, right? Like,
like that's wild. Like this false case is influencing a whole nation and changes laws, you know what I'm saying, against something that's not even real, you know what I'm saying? And that's like, that's wild. But to see and to think that only 70% of what he went through was portrayed, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure it's probably not even 70%, you know what I'm saying? It was an hour episode, period. You know what I'm saying? We can never imagine, you know what I'm saying, everything he went through. And the thing is, like, it's believable, you know what I'm saying? Because you hear about these horrible stories in some of these prisons, especially places like Rikers, like, what's the guy's name? Khalif Browder, you know what I'm saying? Those type of things, like, I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy to me that we would even allow that. Like, there's nobody that was like, okay, he's 16, he needs to be, right, you know what I'm saying, with the kids. like, what? And I don't know. And he seems like I started following him on Instagram and was looking through his Instagram. You know, he's very grateful, you know what I'm saying? And I guess that's a blessing, you know what I'm saying, to be that grateful. Because I would be on asses, I'm telling you. But it's just, I mean, I would be in Tron for sure. I appreciate the video. It's not enough. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, right, period. Like,
True life, I'm still mad as fuck.
Yeah.
So.